Welcome everyone, and today we are going to look at transposition or changing the subject of the formula. An equation, a formula is an equation connecting two or more variables. So I have in my table some different formulas and the subject. Hi, good day everyone, and today we are going to look at transposition or changing the subject of the formula. But what is a formula? A formula is an equation connecting two or more variables. In my table, I have three formulas, and I am going to identify the subject. In my first formula, C is equal to 2 pi r, the subject is C. In my second example, V is equal to U plus T. The subject of the formula is V. In my third example, P is equal to 2L plus 2B, and the subject is P. But how do I identify the subject of the formula? Well, it has to be a single variable on one side of the equation. So in each of my formulas, there is a single variable in each side of the equation. C is the single variable in the first formula. V is a single variable in the second formula. And P is a single variable in the third formula. The variable is not a fraction. The coefficient is 1. So I have 1C, 1V, 1P, and the power is 1. So those are 4 basic steps to identify the subject of the formula. Transposition or changing the subject of the formula is rearranging the formula so that another variable becomes the subject. In my first example, I am going to transpose for A, given the formula V is equal to U plus AT. So V is the subject, and I want to make A the subject. So the first thing I am going to do, I am going to circle the term that contains A. Once it is positive, it remains on that side of the equation. And any other term that is not circled needs to be removed from that side of the equation. So we need to remove U. The inverse of plus U is minus U. So I am going to take or subtract U from both sides. By subtracting U from my right-hand side, I have now completely removed it. So my left-hand side becomes V minus U. So I am one step closer in making A the subject. So now I am going to circle the variable that I want as the subject, which is A. So that means that I need to eliminate T. And the operation that takes place between A and T is multiplication. So the inverse of multiply by T is simply divide by T. So I'm going to divide both sides by T. So here, A is V minus U over T. So now I have completely transposed the formula so that A is the subject, because A is a single variable on one side of the equation. In my second example, the formula C is equal to 2 pi r. I want to make R the subject, so I'm going to circle R. So R is positive, so R will remain on that side of the equation, which means I need to eliminate 2 pi. The inverse of multiply by 2 pi is simply divide by 2 pi. For a term to be cancelled, it must be found in the numerator and denominator. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. Here I have removed 2 pi from my right-hand side, and C is equal to R is equal to C divided by 2 pi. So I have completely transposed the formula, and R is the subject. Third example, we are going to transpose for G, given T is equal to 2 pi, the square root of L over G. To remove the square root sign, I am going to square both sides of the equation. T squared is equal to 2 pi squared L over G. T squared is equal to 4 pi squared L over G. Now the inverse of multiply by 4 pi squared is simply divide by 4 pi squared. Now, I am going to divide both sides by 4 pi squared. So I will eliminate 4 pi squared from my equation. On my right-hand side, 4 pi squared cancels. L over G is T squared over 4 pi squared. To make G the numerator, I need to invert both sides. So 4 pi squared over T squared is equal to G over L. So now I have brought G to the numerator, and I'm going to multiply both sides by L. Now G is the subject. 4 pi squared L over T. I have transposed for G, making G the subject of the formula. In my fourth example, we are going to transpose for R. So V is 4/3 pi R squared. So I'm going to circle R. Everything that is not circled needs to be removed. So I need to first remove 4/3. So I am going to multiply both sides by the inverse of 4 over 3, which is 3 over 4. My fraction is going to cancel from my right-hand side, and I have 3v over 4. Then I am going to divide both sides by pi, because the inverse of multiply by pi is simply divide by pi. So this is going to cancel, and I have R squared. Now, when I divide by pi, it is the same as multiplying by 1 over pi. So R squared is 3v over 4 pi. To remove my square, I need to take square roots of both sides. Taking square roots, the square root of 3v over 4 pi is equal to R. So here I have completely transposed the subject from V to R. So thank you for joining. See you next time.